November evenings usually seem bleak and desolate by themselves. However, this one seems a bit grayer than usual. The outside world is a step beyond hopeless, and I'm afraid I might know why. The last few days have been ominous. The dark gray presence has gotten to me, and I've become jumpy and anxious. I've locked myself indoors and watched children's cartoons for hours sometimes. Their sprightly behavior greatly contrasts the real world I live in. This seems to help. As these thoughts of despair jump around in my head, I catch the expression of my cat in the corner of my eye. It's an expression of worry, whether it be for my mental health or be it the fact that the grayness has gotten to him too. I'm not sure. The idea that we share this emotion only makes my fear more concrete. He jumps from his perch and waddles to his dish, perhaps believing some food will solve his problems. It seems a good enough idea, so I grab my wallet and head outside, set on a coffee shop which stays open late. Looking at people as I walk, I realize some of the gray has been cast upon their eyes. They are not so much glazed looks as they are foggy and lifeless. Happy enough, it seems, but no color. I, on the other hand, must look like a walking storm cloud. Gray on the outside, gray on the inside. The cup of coffee tastes like mop water and the muffin is reminiscent of sawdust. How can everything just be so awful? Then, the whole thing dawns on me. This weather, these people, and this coffee. These things are not gray. I am gray. It's simply life seen through a biased lens, and I know now I can no longer hide from it. I believe I went overboard the last time I visited my dear friend Richard. Our visits always start off with the best of intentions, but get a few drinks into him and into me, and we begin fighting. The darkest hate brews in me when he gets a certain way, always in my face and always so damn arrogant. An apology is in order, an apology which will never fade, one that will last in eternity. By this time I'm already in my truck. I go in and out of consciousness as I play over the events in the past and in the present. I prefer not to think about what is to come. Now the dirt road I promised myself I would never drive on again is beneath my tires. That mountain trail to the lake that haunts my dreams is now all too real again. A flashback to that one night nearly pulls me off the road. Why did we drink so much that night? He made a promise to me and he broke it. He knew I would get that way and still pushed. Come on, man, have a drink, man. I mocked him in a ridiculous voice, but quickly stopped as I realized how wrong it is. I glanced at my fuel gauge, nearly empty. Not enough for a round trip. The lake is in sight. I walk shakily to the shore, then continue along to that familiar tree, the tree which has a canoe leaning against it. Why didn't I burn the stupid thing? I don't know. Then again, how can I say I'm sorry without it? I hop in and began paddling, leaving a seam as I cut through the mist. I jump when the water I've taken in seeps through my shoes and socks and makes contact with my feet. I shiver and exhale, sending out a cloud which bends in with my surrounding. An unknown force stops me cold in my tracks. I look around and realize I'm about in the middle of the lake, about the exact spot I dumped his body. I peered into the water dumbly, pure black. I pull out my waterproof flashlight and pause briefly. It's the first time out of its package, and I never thought I would be using it like this. In retrospect, this was very bad lake to cover up a murder. At about 12 feet at its deepest, it shouldn't take long for me to find him. I go over my to-do list, find him, bring him up, bury him properly, apology accepted. I turn the light on. My eyes scream for mercy. The moon has been my only light source thus far, and this flashlight is indeed bright. My heart is about to leap out of my throat as I contemplate my dive from the canoe. I jump. The water throttles my lungs and I flail about until my breathing is back to normal. I don't have much time. It's cold. I plunge my head under and force my eyes open, searching the lake bed frantically. Nothing. I come up for air and take a second to listen to the crickets. After inhaling a few misty breaths, I go back down. My flashlight catches the torso of Richard. The rest of him suspended weightlessly just above the ground. I swim towards him and then come up for air as my lungs begin to burn. Another few breaths, more than last time. The crickets have stopped. They want nothing to do with this filthy business. My mind begins to work. My heart is pounding. This water is colder than I imagined. Waiting to catch my breath isn't working anymore as I tread water. Adding to my list of troubles is this damn seaweed. It touches my ankle and a shiver runs down my spine. I kick my leg up to avoid it, but it seems to follow a path. What started as a tickle now feels like a rope or a noose. Panic sets in and I feel trapped. I point my flashlight down just in time to see his decomposed hand tearing my flesh and him mouthing the words, "Apology accepted." In the long-forgotten annals of human history, there is a being. This being is not of this existence. I doubt it exists outside of our own imaginations, but that does not stop it. No more than you can stop nature. Once you learn of this being, it finds you. Not unlike a parasite, it leeches off your doubts. Not any old doubts, but your own doubts that it even exists in the first place. This would be harmless if it wasn't for the fact that the more it leeches, the more you believe. The more you believe, the stronger it becomes. And when every fiber of your being believes, well, I'll leave that for you to find out. "Jesus," I cried, being jolted from a half-doze at 1:45 by my new Halloween-themed ringtone. It did do wonders for my heart rate, especially since I momentarily forgot I changed the tone at all that day. It took me a while to find my phone stuck down the side of the armchair I was sitting in, not helped by the fact that the only light in the sitting room was the static on the widescreen TV. Unknown number. I answered it. There was no one there. To be honest, I was expecting heavy breathing on the other end, as I was still a little freaked out, but there was no noise at all. I hung up, took a deep breath, and frowned. Maybe I just pocket-dialed myself. My old iPhone could make a fake self-call designed to create a diversion. So if as I was having a boring conversation with someone, I could pretend Mom was ringing or something, although I wasn't familiar at all with this new piece of crap. My dad bought it from a gas station for $20 a few days ago, as I'd lost my iPhone on a trip to the city last week. I flicked through the features on the menu screen, trying to find the fake call option, but didn't have much luck. For one thing, the screen was about half the size of a credit card. I cursed and decided to watch TV instead to take my mind off things. I tried using the light of my cell phone to find the remote, with little success. Groaning out of laziness, I hauled myself out of the chair to get to the light switch. Stopping halfway, I registered the fact that I had the TV on the satellite channels when I fell asleep, yet now it was static from the analog aerial. I ran the rest of the way to switch and basically punched it. Light flooded the room and my darting eyes saw nothing. After another deep breath, my moment of fear passed. Guess I was having a little unused to have the whole house to myself. Mom and Dad were gone for the night, but it was quite a treat, since they rarely went anywhere, even during the day. Nowhere to go but fields around this part of the country, so them going to a friend's wedding meant I finally had some solitude. I still couldn't see the remote, so I decided to recheck the sides of the armchair. I threw my phone on the seat and reached deep down either side. The phone rang again at full creepy blast, with my ear pressed right up against it. I angrily grabbed it. Damn it, what? Again, there was dead silence. Cursing, I threw the phone back on the seat hard. At that moment, the light bulb blew out violently and the power went out, thrusting me into total darkness. With a shriek, I scrambled to grab the phone again and found it after an instant of blind terror. Using the tiny screen light to see, I panicked and bolted down to my room as fast as I could. Jumped into bed and pulled the covers. I curled into a fetal position. I was panting hard from both the run and fear. I couldn't form any thought for about 5 breaths, until I decided to call my dad. Looking at the screen, I saw I forgot to hang up the last call. My breath caught in my throat as I saw that this time, it wasn't an unknown number. It was mine, from the old number from the phone I'd lost. As I hit the red button, my terrified mind began to race through 1,000 horrible implications until I realized something else. My bed was already warm. Beep beep. The message tone nearly gave me a heart attack. It's under your pillow. Ever so slowly, my trembling hand slid underneath the pillow and found the TV remote. From under the covers, I heard my bedroom door close, then lock.
If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you'd like to, you can follow me at Twitter. The handle is @FuzzyPantaloons, and I'll see you all next time.